The next piece of our conversation is about establishing expectations. When we are in a school with students, expectations are always part of the conversation in some way or another. But the base of the conversation is really who we're talking about. And so we're starting with this image of this engaged learner. This work comes from developmental designs, which at its very simplest is a set of resources and learning for teachers that help to create environments that are supportive for students, that allow students to really be engaged, like you see here in front of you. This student says they need fun, competence, relationship, autonomy, and safety in order to be an engaged learner. And so we're going to focus now on that safety piece, as well as that ring at the bottom that's titled supportive community. One of the ways that adults create that space is by setting expectations. Expectations are not just rules, they represent a shared responsibility, and they establish a space that feels safe and supportive for scholars. Expectations create an environment in which everyone knows what to expect. And so the first way we're going to talk about expectations is this idea of norms. Norms are an educational or a business way of describing ways that we work together. When you enter a space with a student, you can establish expectations for that student. You can adhere to a school's expectations, but it's equally important to establish ways the two of you or you and the group will work together. And these questions are a good starting point. So we want you to engage in conversation with the scholars you're working with. Ask them, how will we work together? This is a question that gets at that idea of shared responsibility. Between the adult and the student, what role do each of us play in ensuring that this space we're in is as successful as possible? Whether it is a lunchtime or a recess or tutoring or bus dismissal and arrival, whatever it might be, there's a shared responsibility. The adult plays a role and the child plays a role. So have that conversation with the kids. What will we do together? How will we work together? We want you to ask the students what they need from you. They will tell you and they know. So we won't come in with our assumptions about what students need from us, but instead we'll ask them, do they want our help? What kind of help do they want, right? If you're in a group setting, so for example, you're in a classroom helping to supervise a lunch period, you might ask the kids what they need from each other. You're tutoring a small group of students around math. What do you need from each other for this space to feel and be as successful as possible, as meaningful as possible, as productive as possible for you? What do you need from your peers? And helping to guide that conversation. It's also important to find out under what circumstances our kids thrive. When are they at their absolute best? Because then you as the adult can create that environment for our kids. The other piece of expectations is the rules piece, right? We know in schools there's rules and procedures and policies that we have to know and follow. And it's your responsibility as a volunteer to learn what those are. So we have some strategies for you to do that. We want you to connect with the school secretary or the teacher to learn the expectations and routines of the classroom or the school. What's the bathroom policy? Do students sign out to go to the restroom? Do they take a pass? How many kids are allowed to be out of the classroom at a time? Are there certain times they are and are not allowed to be in the hallways? What is passing time supposed to look like? Which doors do we go out for dismissal at the end of the day or come in from recess? Where do we throw our trash at the end of lunch? Ask these questions, learn these expectations and routines for the school so you can know them. Also ask the scholars what's expected of them in a certain situation. How do we line up after recess? Show me how we clean up our equipment and get into this line to go inside. Tell me what your teacher expects this math assignment to look like when it's completed. Kids know the expectations, and if you ask them, they will tell you. We also want to make sure our language is clear and direct when we're talking to kids and stating expectations. There's a big difference in the two sentences you see in front of you. Do you want to take out your reading book? And it's time to take out your reading book. If we ask a student a question, we're trying to get an answer from them. And if we don't mean to ask a question, we can still guide and direct with love and empathy. It's time to take out your reading book. In 5 minutes, we'll walk down the hallway and go back to your classroom. We're going to finish this assignment, and then you can show me the writing you did earlier. And finally, we invite you to create expectations in writing, whether it's you and a student or a group of students, writing down expectations on a piece of scrap paper, on a poster that goes on the wall, really helps to lay the foundation for ensuring that we all know what the expectations and rules and agreements are. You have lots of wisdom as well, whether it's parenting or in education or with colleagues at work or with your own families and relationships. Consider the other ways that you know how to establish expectations. Maybe it's foreshadowing, giving a preview of what's coming next. Maybe it's sitting next to somebody to have a conversation. Maybe it's empowering people to show what the expectations are and develop people into leaders. Whatever it is, rely on your own expertise as well here. Establishing expectations is part of that relationship building.